I was folding his shirts when he said it again. Laughing. Casual. Like it was harmless air passing between us. "If I ever had a real shot with her," he said, leaning against the doorframe, "I'd be gone in a second." I didn't look up. I finished folding. Then I stood, walked to the closet, pulled out his travel bag, and began packing. He thought it was a joke. So did I, once. We didn't start like this. We started soft, quiet dinners, shared secrets, the kind of love that feels earned instead of loud. He used to look at me like I was the safest place he knew. I believed him because I wanted to, because trust is easier when you're building a life instead of protecting one. And my best friend, she was part of that life. Always there, always smiling, always listening a little too closely when he spoke. I ignored it. I called myself mature, secure. I wore my denial like jewelry. The jokes came later, always framed as humor, always dismissed when I flinched. "You're overthinking. I'd never actually do that. Relax." Men say relax when they want you quiet. The shift wasn't dramatic. It never is. It was patterns, timing, absences that didn't line up. Her name started appearing in conversations where it didn't belong. His phone face down more often, her laughter echoing in his voice when he wasn't with her. I didn't cry. I didn't confront. I watched. One night, his phone lit up on the counter while he was in the shower. Her name. One sentence. "If she ever knew how you look at me." That was it. No explicit confession, no smoking gun, just enough truth to confirm what my instincts had been screaming for months. I didn't touch the phone. I didn't need to. Something cold settled in me. Not rage, not heartbreak. Clarity. That was the moment I stopped being his wife and became his consequence. I smiled more after that. I asked fewer questions. I listened. I made copies of everything. Accounts, emails, messages he thought were hidden. I scheduled meetings, quiet ones, with lawyers who didn't flinch when I said, "I don't want drama. I want precision." I let him believe he was winning. Men get sloppy when they feel desired. He started staying out later, started lying worse, started planning a future that didn't include me, out loud, in pieces, like I wouldn't put it together. I did. Every single piece. I moved my money first, then my name, then my silence. Which brings us back to the bag. He was still smiling when he realized I was serious. "What are you doing?" he asked, confused, offended. I zipped the bag slowly, carefully, like a gift. "You keep joking about leaving me for her," I said, calm as a held breath. "So do it now." He laughed, nervous this time. "You're being dramatic." I handed him the bag. "I already spoke to a lawyer," I continued. "The house is mine, the accounts are frozen, your things will be mailed once the paperwork is final." His smile cracked. "You can't just—" "I can," I said, and I did. He tried anger next, then pleading, then disbelief. He asked how I knew. I didn't answer. I didn't need to give him closure. That privilege belonged to me now. The real confrontation came later, with her. She didn't expect me. They never do. She looked smaller without me beside her, less confident, less chosen. "He said you knew," she whispered. "I did," I said. "That's why this is ending exactly like this." I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I let the truth sit between us like a mirror. She cried. He called. I didn't answer. They lost each other within months. Affairs survive on secrecy. They rot in daylight. Now I sit alone in the quiet we once shared, and it feels earned. I don't miss him. I miss the woman I was before I learned how carefully people can lie. But I like who I am now more. She doesn't beg. She doesn't warn. She acts. He wanted a joke. I gave him a punchline. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't lose control. I simply packed his bag and gave him exactly what he kept asking for.